Hello, I'm going to talk about and review a video game in this video. And so, it's on the PlayStation 4. I read this game. It's Spider-Man Miles Morales. Which is a sequel and a spin-off to 2018 Spider-Man game titled Spider-Man. That one was about Peter's story. That was Peter's story. This is Miles' story. Honestly, I really enjoyed this game. I give this a 10 out of 10. I really like the gameplay mechanic with the Venom Blast. And how they got creative with the Venom Blast. In the game. I also really like how stealth was used this time with camouflage with Miles' cloak ability. When he can turn invisible. For a short period of time, so. For a certain period of time, so that's cool. I noticed Miles has as many gadgets as Peter for some reason. In this game, probably because he doesn't really need as many gadgets as Peter. Peter doesn't have, as much abilities as Miles does with his power, so. Although it does bother me again that they made, it does still bother me that they made Miles older than what he older in his earlier years as Spider-Man than what he started out as in his earlier years as Spider-Man in the comics. See, in this game he's 17 years old, but in the comics, when he started out as comics, he was younger than Peter Parker. So, by 2 years actually. 2 or 3 years, yeah, so Miles was 13 when he started as Spider-Man in the comics.
Jake?
Yeah?
What are you doing?
Making a review.
Oh, can you do that in the basement?
Okay.
It's just that it's getting late and you gotta walk in long.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay.
Taking this in the basement. So, where was I? Oh yeah, Spider-Man Miles Morales. Excuse me. So the villain this time is the Tinkerer, who's later in the game revealed to be an old friend of Finn, Miles called Finn. Early in the game, so But then it's even later, the real villain is actually the CEO of NASA, and not really the Tinkerer. Like the bigger bad guy. Besides this, there's two big bad guys. Basically, which is on Severage. The Tinkerer wants revenge for her friends, for her father's death. That not NASA did. Is behind. And Miles finds this out by the footage that he sees on the recording. He understands why Finn's doing this, but tells him there's gotta be a better way instead of just killing people. Finn, for a short period of time, teams up with Miles. Then starts to get fed up with Miles. Like Code. Then backstabs Miles and goes forward with a plan. To destroy NASA by destroying this, vaporizing this thing. Has like a little battery with basically it's basically what the Tinkerer doesn't know is that she got her calculations wrong. She's not just going to vaporize all of NASA, and she's going to vaporize all of Harlem. So has to stop her before a million because all of Harlem gets vaporized. So was the innocent people. So Miles, almost costing his life, saves the day. And Cigarette then comes out to his mother and completely supportive Miles. Everything is right and proud of him. And so I left my water down here in the basement, I remembered. So, it ends, but with Finn's dead by helping Miles in the end. And gets him out of feeling his way, but ends up getting fried in the process. Basically, so, yeah, I worry I'm skipping anything. I'm doing my best not to skip too much of the story to make it follow along. And, so Finn's ashes get put away on this next year on this top of this building where him and Finn used to hang out in the game earlier in the game. And So, although I do have one problem with it, it does bother me that Peter Parker is as absent as much as he is in the story. You know, it. I don't know. It seems a little. Like, you know, like, I mean, it's not that I don't buy it, of his excuse why he's absent from the story, but it just seems how early we played the cards in the story, and how early he leaves the story and comes in from the story and permanently absent from the story. You know, until the end when he comes back from his trip and greets and tells and congratulates Miles on and stuff when you're doing side missions. Still, if you haven't done if you have more side missions to do, like I did. So, as the main campaign, I beat. So, yeah, I really don't know why they couldn't make Peter a playable character and make Miles the main focus. If I just think that would have made more sense. You know, get Miles to be the main focus for the Miles game, spin-off game, and have Peter be a playable character. I don't know, maybe, I just thought of it, well, maybe let's, like, have Peter do something else in the city. I don't know, it feels a little lazy, like that he's out of town and out of New York in this one. It's not unbelievable, but it does feel a little short-lived, and I don't see why they didn't have both Spider-Mans playable. I mean, considering that's the direction that they're going with the franchise anyway, of having Miles be the main focus instead of Peter, and still having Peter be a playable character in that world. I mean, why didn't they just start it from this game? It would have made more sense in hindsight, probably. Anyway, that's a bit of a complete nitpick. I have 10 out of 10 this game gets. Spider-Man Miles Morales. And I want to talk about the original game for a bit, because it's my favorite game of all time, right next to Spider-Man Miles Morales. And this is my favorite video game franchise of all time, I think. I mean, it's Marvel Comics, it's like Marvel Comics, a really good adaptation of Marvel Comics, and a really good video game, playable video games with great combat and games, and that works. And great effects also for the game. So and voice acting is awesome as Yuri Lowenthal as Spider-Man, Peter Parker Spider-Man. So And Miles makes his appearance in this game, in the first Spider-Man game called Spider-Man. Yeah, where we see his origin story play out and unfold, which is a very radical, different reimagining story than the origin story that he gets from the comics, from the Ultimate Comics. Instead of instead of Peter dying and Miles be taking on the mantle of Spider-Man, it is his father dying and Miles takes on the mantle of Spider-Man, within his origin. But by Peter's teaching skills. We see it play out across in both games, including DLC Spider-Man The City Never Sleeps. Which I'm not going to talk about this, or should I talk about, yeah, I'm just going to finish what I'm talking about now, okay? So, Peter is in his 20s now. He's not a kid anymore. He's 20. He's like 23 or 24 at this point. In the sequel, he's like 26. The actual sequel, Top of Spider-Man 2. Or 27. I'm not really sure. Yeah, okay. So he's in his early 20s at this point, so the police are working with Spider-Man in this game, and specifically the one called Yuri is pals with Spider-Man, basically. And just like every one of his close pals, because Spider-Man is how he is because of his personality, she finds him a bit annoying. Because he won't shut up. Literally. And acting like a child. Basically, and joking like one. Still. After all these years. Still the same Peter in this game we see, so. But it's nice we get to see classic Peter. Yuri pretty much nails it with the end she delivers with the quips while Spider-Man's exhausted or, you know, out of breath. Or not exhausted. And full of energy. And the action in both scenes are pretty epic. Now the first one's it has more action, more epic action shots. Scenes that play out in the game because the game is a longer game and it has a bigger campaign. It has a bigger map, open world also. Personally, I think this is a good idea. because I'm actually think that was actually a good idea, a good call to make this a smaller game, the Miles one versus the Peter one. Because as an origin story, sometimes I find when they go too big with origin stories, I end up hating the fuck out of them. Like, well, or find them mediocre. Like, 90% of the Marvel live action ones. And DC. You know what, I'm just going to say 90% of the live action comic book ones. I find I usually just at least hate the origin because they're trying to like do too much, and I just tell the character to transform into the role of the hero that we see in the comics. So now for that gets glanced over instead of for dumb fuck action. It is trying to do too much with the stories and trying to do too many ideas. It gets confusing for me. Too much is stupid for me. Why are you trying to make your job so hard? I don't understand. So yeah, what I'm trying to say this is, most games are good quality games. 10 out of 10. Peter has a different is more well, Peter is not as OP as Miles is in his game. You know, overpowered with his punches. I mean, his boost strings when he has to look. Yes, that's all. I just noticed that. If you ask me which game I like more, I like the Spider-Man game more than the Miles one. Far more because it gave me finally. I got a modern good take on Spider-Man. Another good one. Modern take on Spider-Man. Not counting any of Maguire's or Tom's or Andrew's movies as Spider-Man. Because I hate them all. They're all fucking disappointments. And disgraceful to the Spider-Man name, I say. And fucking embarrassment. I say. It makes you feel embarrassed to be a Spider-Man fan of those movies. I was fine. These games, on the other hand, the Miles one of the people make you feel proud to be a Spider-Man fan. Because it feels like they actually cared for. And it made me happy. And put effort into it. What's the writing? Something that the live action movies will never fucking do. Because these suck, Spider-Man live action. All of them. All of them. Period. But Spider-Man video games and cartoons pretty much is always awesome. Normally. I find. always written well with his quips. And his sense of humor, his wonderful personality. And his moral code. Spider-Man is always written well in these games, and 10 out of 10 these games get Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales. Good morning and goodbye. Subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you next time. I hope you enjoyed this review.